called my house and said she never came back from her father's.
Yeah, I was giving you a heads up.
Or covering your ass.
What if John Rambo returned for one last epic adventure? With Sylvester Stallone's future in the franchise uncertain, the possibilities for Rambo 6 are wide open. Will we see a new actor take on the iconic role, or could a prequel explore Rambo's early days? Let's dive into the potential plot directions and the exciting prospects for the future of this legendary action hero. Sylvester Stallone has mentioned that he's done with the Rambo franchise, but there's still talk about a potential Rambo 6 movie. This speculation arises because Stallone has a history of returning to characters he previously retired, such as Rambo himself. Rambo first appeared in the 1982 film First Blood, based on David Morrell's 1972 novel. He quickly became one of the most iconic action heroes of the 1980s. The franchise seemed to end with 1988's Rambo III. However, Stallone revived the character in 2008 for Rambo, and again over a decade later in 2019's Rambo Last Blood. This pattern has fueled discussions and rumors about the possibility of a sixth Rambo movie, despite Stallone's statements about moving on from the series. Given the Rambo franchise's resilience, having been revived twice already, it's understandable why there's ongoing curiosity about a potential Rambo 6 film. Stallone's other iconic characters, like Rocky Balboa and Barney Ross from The Expendables, have also made numerous comebacks despite their supposed final appearances. This history has led many dedicated fans to hold on to hope that the title Last Blood from the latest Rambo movie may not be entirely accurate in signaling the end of the series. While an official announcement about Rambo 6 is unlikely anytime soon, there have been discussions and ideas floating around for a sequel since Rambo Last Blood. The return of John Rambo, whether portrayed by Stallone or another actor, remains a possibility worth considering, given the franchise's track record. On the other hand, Stallone, in an interview during the Toronto International Film Festival, reiterated his stance on not revisiting the Rambo franchise for a sixth installment. The news about Rambo 6 came directly from Stallone, who made it clear that he currently has no intentions of reprising his role as John Rambo. During the interview, Stallone acknowledged the continued demand for a Rambo 6 movie. However, he humorously pointed out that his age, at 77 years old, is a significant factor in his reluctance to reprise the role of Rambo. "Rambo, I could leave him. He's done pretty much," Stallone explained, "even though they want to do another one, but what am I fighting, arthritis?" The main question surrounding the cast of Rambo 6 is whether Stallone will reprise his role as John Rambo for what would likely be the final time. However, based on Stallone's recent comments, it seems unlikely that he will return. This raises the possibility of recasting the character of John Rambo for the next installment. However, as of now, there haven't been any discussions or announcements regarding who might take on the role of John Rambo if Stallone does not return. Several modern action movie stars could potentially take on the role of John Rambo if Stallone doesn't return, although they would bring their own interpretation to the character, similar to the various actors who have portrayed James Bond over the years. Actors like John Cena, Alan Ritchson from Reacher, or even someone unexpected like Henry Cavill could be considered for a reimagined Rambo 6. While this is purely speculative at this point, there's no inherent reason why these actors or others couldn't step into Stallone's shoes and bring a fresh perspective to the iconic character. Talk about the plot Rambo 6 could potentially explore two different plot directions. One option is to set it after the events of Rambo Last Blood, where John Rambo could find himself in a new situation reminiscent of the original First Blood, highlighting his journey from a drifting war veteran to a reluctant hero once again. Alternatively, the film could delve into a prequel storyline, delving into Rambo's experiences during the Vietnam War and showcasing his transformation from an idealistic young man to a hardened and troubled warrior. Stallone has previously shown interest in a Rambo prequel, which would focus on this character evolution. Another possibility for Rambo 6 is to revive a previously canceled version of the film that was being developed by Stallone and David Morrell, the author of the original First Blood novel. This would offer yet another avenue for the franchise to explore, potentially revisiting ideas that were shelved earlier in development. Realistically, the most probable plot direction for Rambo 6 would involve rebooting the franchise. Sylvester Stallone seems to have concluded his tenure as John Rambo, but there's still a strong demand from audiences for more adventures featuring the character. While Stallone's portrayal was instrumental in making Rambo iconic, many action franchises have successfully navigated major cast changes. For instance, the character of Jack Ryan from Tom Clancy's novels has been portrayed by multiple actors, each bringing their own unique interpretation to the role. Similarly, there's no reason why the story of John Rambo couldn't be retold with a new actor taking on the role. A reboot would allow for a fresh perspective on the character and potentially introduce new elements to the franchise while still honoring its legacy. This approach has been proven effective in other franchises, making it a viable and realistic option for Rambo 6, should Stallone stick to his decision to not return to the series. It's possible that there could be enough demand from fans and financial backers to greenlight another Rambo sequel. However, whether Sylvester Stallone would star in such a film is a separate question. At 77 years old, Stallone may be considered too old to credibly portray an action hero in a physically demanding role. While Harrison Ford, who is 81, was de-aged for his return to the Indiana Jones franchise in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, de-aging technology is costly, and a Rambo 6 production would not likely have the massive budget of a Disney-backed film like Indiana Jones. Therefore, the feasibility of Stallone reprising his role as John Rambo in a potential sequel remains uncertain due to age-related considerations and budget constraints. A more practical approach to bringing back the Rambo character could involve creating a prequel focused on a younger version of John Rambo before the events of First Blood. Stallone has expressed interest in this concept, suggesting that exploring the character's early life and experiences in Vietnam could be compelling. This would allow for a new actor to step into the role and portray a different aspect of Rambo's journey. As for the older version of the character, Stallone's portrayal received a fitting conclusion in Rambo Last Blood, which depicted him surviving one final battle before showing a montage of highlights from the franchise. From a storytelling perspective, leaving the character's story there could be the most appropriate choice. However, if there's enough demand from fans and financial backers, producers may consider creating a Rambo 6 film, potentially resurrecting the character in some capacity, whether through a prequel or another approach. Ultimately, the decision would likely depend on audience interest and market viability. Well, that's it for today. What do you think should be the next step for Rambo? Should it be a post-Last Blood adventure, a dive into his Vietnam days, or a complete reboot with a new actor? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like if you're eager for more Rambo, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates. Until next time, keep the action going.